Welcome. Hello and welcome. So happy to have you here, my sisters. Welcome to this week's session here in the Shamanic Sister Circle. So excited to be here with you today to talk about the 4 stages of the healer's evolution. It's a really, really important topic. Can't wait to share all about it with you. Everyone who's watching this on the replay, say hi to me in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions to what we're going to cover today. If you're here with me live, say hi as well. I can see some of you are here already. Say hi. Let me know how you're doing today on the Easter week. Beautiful springtime, really at the moment. It's such a great time. The sun is in Aries. It's my birth month. It's the month of new beginnings. You know, in ancient times, the new year would start now. You could still see that in all the Asian traditions, you know, like in Thailand, Songkran, here in Bali, Nyepi. All of those beautiful celebrations are here to ring in the new year, which kind of starts now really with new life, with spring here in Asia, at the end of rainy season. So this is where we are off to new beginnings, we have fresh energy, and many of us feel it's time to take the next step on our path. But sometimes, you know, it's hard to understand what the next step is gonna be, especially if you don't know where you're currently at relative to where you want to get to, right? And that's exactly what we're gonna talk about today, the 4 stages of a healer's evolution and the corresponding priorities that are really gonna lead you into evolving into that next stage and ultimately to experience a purposeful, fulfilled, relaxed, and abundant life as a healer. So, we're really going to talk about how you can deepen your spiritual practice and your healing gifts and increase your income and impact as a healer. Really exciting topic. And like I just shared, you know, when you want to get to somewhere, you know, say you want to get to a mountain top, well, you have to know where you're starting out from, right? If you have this beautiful map and on the map you have the mountain, you're still not going to be able to get there if you don't know where you are at on the map, right? So let's talk about where you're at in which of the 4 stages. And before we do that, I'd love to know what your mountain is. What is your mountain? What is that mountaintop for you? That goal, that intention? Where do you want to get to? Let's say for 2024, you know, this is the time of the year where we build momentum towards what we want to have accomplished by the end of the year. So let me know what mountain you are climbing. What is your end goal? For many of my clients, it is to to be a healer full time, to do the sacred work full time, to earn an abundant living from doing what you love, to express yourself in really beautiful ways, and help a lot of people and receive back for this beautiful work that you're doing. So let me know specifically for you what that is. Let me know in the comments. I'm just gonna check here that everything is working technically. So it's a big question here on Facebook. And unfortunately, the algorithm is not in our favor. Many of you are not even receiving notifications on Facebook anymore. The era of Facebook is slowly coming to an end, which is why I'm thinking of moving all of these activities to another place. But let's see. I'm gonna ask you, do some polls in the group, see what you feel about this. Because Victoria and I would love to connect more to you. So if you would prefer these lives to happen on YouTube or on Zoom, let us know. And we're gonna make that happen. Okay, I think technically everything is working. Not sure if I can see the comments, but I can see myself here. So that's beautiful already. Okay. Good. So let's dive right in. Talking about this really important topic. And before we do, I'm going to start with some really deep breaths to really arrive in the here and now. We don't take enough time to do that, to really breathe deeply, let new life stream through our systems, and really be very present with what we're doing. Especially on social media. So let's do that together. Let's lean back for a moment. Closing your eyes. And let's start to just take some really deep breaths together. Breathing as deeply as you can without straining. Breathing in. When your lungs are really full, hold your breath at the top for a moment or two. And then slowly breathe out again. And hold your breath out for a moment or two before breathing in again, slowly and deeply. Holding your breath at the top before you slowly breathe out again. Holding your breath out again. And then slowly start to breathe in and continue this deep breathing at your own pace for a few breaths. And one more deep breath in and out. Beautiful. I hope you're feeling much more present and alive right now. I sure do. This type of breath is so simple and yet it is so powerful because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which really is that mode where we feel calm and present, and where also our innate healing capacities are activated so that healing happens. So it's really, really beautiful to feel that. Good. So let's dive right in. Once you know what your mountain is, the goal you're trying to achieve this year, let's see where you are at on the map. Okay, stage 1 in the evolution of a healer is the seeker. The seeker is awakening to her spiritual path after her awakening was triggered by an event in her life, like an illness, the death of a loved one, a traumatic relationship, something, that is triggering strong emotions. Um, there's been some kind of really impactful event. So, that's triggered this kind of search for answers and the discovering of spiritual truths. And at that point, the seeker realizes that what is happening in her life right now as an adult is linked to one or more events in her childhood. She realizes that she is repeating old patterns, and she realizes that she has some deep healing to do. Let me know if that's happened for you at some point in your path. I bet it has, even if you are not in the stage of a seeker anymore. Otherwise, you wouldn't have evolved into that new stage. So this is where ideally the seeker finds support for her healing journey. But most often, this realization of the need for support only happens after a lot of suffering and struggle. Let me know if you've experienced that. I sure have. And at some point, the seeker commits to her healing journey fully. She gets support and she learns a lot. And, some seekers along the way discover that their true calling is to become a healer. And they want to help others who go through the same struggle with what they've learned, right? So this is how we discover our calling. And when the seeker is ready to embrace her calling, she looks for training. and she becomes an apprentice, which is stage 2. So who here is a seeker at this point in your life? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what happened to you that triggered your spiritual awakening. And what childhood trauma can you link to that? What healing processes have you been through? And what made you realize you were meant to become a healer? Let me know in the comments, and let me know if you'd like me to pull a card for you for personal guidance. Now, if you are still in the middle of your healing process, then I highly recommend shamanic healing for you at this stage. You know, this original big healing that happens after your spiritual awakening. It's always a big healing process. Of course, we continue to heal throughout our whole lives, but if this is you right now, or you're in this initial big healing phase, then I highly recommend you go straight for shamanic healing. It's really a shortcut to get to the core of what you're dealing with, because all of our problems originate at the soul level. We incarnate again to take care of that soul loss that has occurred in past lives, that plays out in childhood trauma and continues playing out throughout childhood, showing up as illness, accidents, financial difficulties, relationship trauma, resulting in more soul loss if we don't go back to the origin to heal. So in a shamanic healing session, we bring back the soul pieces that we lost in past lifetimes and in childhood, which in turn restores balance to body, mind, and heart. I have a few shamanic group healing sessions coming up throughout April, specifically on the topics of clearing money karma, healing from anxiety and sexual trauma. So send me a PM for more info on that. And the next step on your path that will make you evolve into the next stage of the evolution of a healer, which is to become an apprentice, is to seek mentorship. This is what the seeker needs at this point. So my general recommendation for this stage is to learn shamanic journeying under the guidance of a mentor. Shamanic journeying is the perfect answer to what the seeker is seeking, right? Which is spiritual insights and guidance for her path. So when we talk about enlightenment, what we really mean is to realize our divine nature while we are still incarnated in a body, to embody our higher self, our soul self. And shamanic journeying is the key to that enlightenment, to living heaven on earth. And I can't recommend it highly enough. Every human being should learn how to expand their consciousness into the higher realms of existence for a deeper connection to all that is, and then easy access to guidance, inspiration, wisdom, and healing. You can learn shamanic journeying step by step and safely with me online as part of Shamanic Stars, the 7 months long apprenticeship that I'm offering. But if you don't want to train as a shamanic healer, you can simply join for part 1 and learn shamanic journeying in just 10 weeks at the same time as really diving deep into your own healing journey. And shamanic journeying really is a skill that will serve you forever. If there were just one skill that humans should be learning apart from maybe feeding themselves, it would be shamanic journeying. So schedule a chat with me to learn more. The link is in the description above the video. It's shamanicyoga.love/claritycall. Now, let me know if you want the personal card. If you are a seeker at this stage, I'm going to pull a general card that speaks to this stage in the evolution of a healer, the seeker. You will not believe this. Vision quest. Seek. Well, that couldn't be more divine. That is absolutely perfect. And shamanic journeying is also what we use on a vision quest. On a vision quest, traditionally we go into nature. One of my best-selling programs, the Dark Goddess Initiation, actually sends my beautiful seekers out into nature for a full day immersed in nature to really connect to nature, to connect to yourself on the soul level and to seek answers. And this is what we do on a shamanic journey. We go to seek answers to whatever is going on in our lives in this moment. Tanya, I'll draw a card for you as well. Are you a seeker at this stage in your life? And I'm just going to read what the book says, the beautiful shamanic medicine guidebook about the vision quest. The time of abandoning, ignoring, diminishing, and misunderstanding the power of the old ways and wisdom is coming to an end for you. Spiritual awakening. On the physical plane, you feel a need to carry on in your set ways as a manner of survival, but this will soon create a state of emptiness, weakness, and fear. A rite of passage, like a vision quest, allows the body to respond to challenge and gives you the strength and vitality to deal with the changes. On a transpersonal level, you are seeking soul knowledge. You want to know who, what, and why you are, as well as the possibilities that lie before you. This knowledge, enriched by the wisdom of the collective unconscious, is the basis of your recognition of your physical or spiritual place on Grandmother Earth. A vision quest is a way of taking the first steps towards knowing your true place in nature. Quest what you seek, and you will return with healing and direction for yourself, your loved ones, and for all of us. Vision Quest speaks. Become the quester of your vision. Where and how is your decision. Meet your guide with their protection. Heal your wounds and change direction. Wow, this is so beautiful, so powerful. I love this so much. Okay, beautiful Vision Quest card. Seek. So if you are a seeker at this point in your life, have courage. Take that next step. Say yes to your awakening. Hi, Christina, welcome. Okay, so Tanya, I'm gonna draw a card specifically for you. Ooh, what a beautiful card. Four-legged. Endurance. What does this card, what meaning does this card have for you, Tanya? What do you feel coming up here for you? I love this card. I am deeply connected to many four-legged creatures. Right now in my room there's two of them. There's my cat Venus curled up there in a corner, and behind me is my doggy daughter Raja. So let's say what we have here for four-legged. Animal spirits have walked with you since your birth. They protect, guide, and wish to remind you that you can call upon their medicine at any time. They are offering you the endurance you need to carry on. They may also come to you in the physical form, so look out for visitations from a four-legged, such as a cat, dog, deer, or horse. They can turn up at any time with a meaningful message, and it is wise to acknowledge them as well as any four-legged animals that appear from the spirit world. Just because these power or totem animals aren't in their physical form doesn't mean they don't exist. Their energy lives in the other worlds and they are very much alive. This card reminds you to ask for assistance and to be open to the animals around you. Hone their energies as they offer you the medicine they hold as a helping hand. Call upon the four-legged who can give you the strength required to push forward now. Four-legged speaks. I greet you from the other side. Journey within, go for a ride. Endurance requires strength. Valor, it comes to you. Hear the lions roar. Beautiful. This is just what I was talking about. Learn shamanic journeying. This is where you're gonna meet all of your power animals, where you can really powerfully connect to that guidance and assistance that you need as a seeker. Hope that card was meaningful for you. Good. Now let's talk about stage 2 in the evolution of a healer. After the seeker, you become an apprentice. The seeker has evolved into an apprentice when she has found the right mentorship to learn how to become a healer. So now she is actively learning how to help others, and she keeps learning a lot about herself in the process. Now let me know who of you is currently an apprentice. And let me know if you'd like me to pull a card for your personal guidance. Now, my general recommendation for the apprentice is to learn shamanic healing. When you've learned shamanic journeying, which is how to access higher consciousness to connect to spirit in a really reliable and easy and powerful way, then you are ready to learn shamanic healing, which is where you can actually move soul level energy. So even if you're already apprenticing in another modality, shamanic healing is the mother modality of them all. And you can't really powerfully use any other modality if you have not taking care of the soul loss that people are experiencing that's at the origin of their problems first. So when you're trained as a shamanic healer, you know how to help yourself and others with soul loss. That's the ultimate cure for everything, since we can heal all problems at the core, at the origin. And only then do other healing modalities become really effective and beneficial once the soul loss has been taken care of. Then any modalities that you use, to help the body, the mind, the heart, that's where they come into full effect. So if you'd like to learn more about shamanic healing, how exactly it works, you can ask questions right now in the chat if you'd like, but later if you watch this on the replay. And you can also explore if you have a true calling to become a shamanic healer by booking a chat with me. You have the link in the description. Now, my second advice for the apprentice is to add holistic business coaching to your studies. So you will be able to have a powerful impact for good once you have become a healer. Because what is the point of learning how to be a powerful healer if you don't know how to reach those who need your help? And unfortunately, most apprenticeships do not cover that at all. Holistic, spiritual, shamanic business coaching will help you to identify who your soul client is, the avatar that you can best serve, the type of person you can best serve with your unique life experience and unique spiritual gifts. And from there to create a soul offering, which is really catering to exactly what your soul client needs. And then learn how to sell that with heart, offering your services to those who need it, who will be really happy to buy from you because your service is literally invaluable to them. They've been just waiting for someone to specialize in exactly what they need. So we cover how to do all of this as part of the Shamanic Stars apprenticeship. I just talked to one of my wonderful apprentices yesterday in one of our sessions, and she is, has just specified who her ideal client avatar is, and it was just such a big aha moment for her, because this is where all of your learning, all of your life experience kind of culminates in this like wow state where you're ready to put that to create something tangible, so it all manifests into the 3D in the form of a specific service that you offer. It really feels like the culmination of your whole life. Everything has led up to this point where you're like, wow, this is my gift to the world. And when you found that, that's when it becomes easy to earn money from your healing services as well. That's when you start to not feel anymore that you shouldn't charge for your services or any other such nonsense, where you start to feel really confident because you just know that this is so valuable and that nobody else on the planet can offer exactly that to someone. Okay? It's beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. We cover all of this as part of the Shamanic Stars apprenticeship. So book a chat with me if you'd like to explore this beautiful training, which is my own soul offering to the world. And you can also apply for one-on-one shamanic business coaching with me through the same link if you don't want more training in shamanism, but simply to, make your existing healing business more powerful. That's if you are already at stage 3, which is to be a healer. So we're going to talk about that in a moment, but let's pull a card for the apprentice stage first. And let me know if you have any questions about stage 2. And if you would like me to pull a personal card for you. Christina loved the card. Tanya had a memory from a past dog coming up who was so sweet. Oh yes, I also have 2 angel doggies and I still connect to them almost every day. In my shamanic journeys. Yeah, still beautiful, beautiful beings and friends of mine. Christina is asking, are there different types of shamanic healing modalities? Yes, so the 2 big divisions are core shamanism and indigenous shamanism. So shamanism has developed obviously in an indigenous setting. It was like 40 to 100,000 years ago, so shamanism is much older than all of our modern healing modalities. It is really an innate capacity that we all have to access higher consciousness and use it to heal ourselves and others. So it is much more than a healing modality. It's really, part of us. It's the original understanding of what the world is. It's accessing the energetic reality of everything that is. And nowadays, we grow up estranged from our true nature, estranged from spiritual teachings, in the Western world, in the modern world. And so And it's difficult for us to access the original indigenous teachings in their pure form if we haven't grown up in that context. Which is why I don't teach indigenous shamanism, because I'm not an indigenous person, and because I think that these rituals taken out of context are also often not very effective for us in the modern world. But the beautiful thing is that there is core shamanism. So all the indigenous forms of shamanism have two things in common, right? The first of all is the practice of shamanic journeying, how it works specifically to access higher consciousness in the trance state induced by the drum. And secondly, the basis of shamanic healing is the same all over the world. It is to restore balance through extractions, energy extractions, taking away what doesn't belong, what's outdated, what's foreign energy, and retrievals, bringing back the soul pieces and power pieces that we have lost in this lifetime and in other lifetimes. So this is really how we restore balance, how we take care of any and all problems on the soul level. Before anything else can happen, any emotional, relational, mental, physical integrations, first we need to take care of that soul loss. I hope that makes sense, Christina. And you would love to have a card as well. I'll draw one for you. I feel like there is a part of me who is still in apprenticeship. Okay, good. Let's draw a card for you, Christina. Kind of having two cards coming up here. Those two fell both out of the deck, so I'm going to just show them to you. There is, the altar, honoring, and water, expression. So the altar card is calling on you to deepen your spiritual practice, to find time for prayer, and to honor your spiritual gifts more. And the water card, the expression card, is calling upon you to dive deep into your emotions, into your creative self, and to take it all forwards into expression. So those are your two messages here. I hope that resonates. So it matters to have that peace before fully stepping into healer and teacher, because I do all three. Which piece do you mean? If you're talking about soul pieces, we lose so many. We should continue to getting those back, like forever. Throughout many lifetimes, we've had someone to take care of our soul loss when we lived in an indigenous setting within a culture that was aware of soul loss. But now for many lifetimes, we've not had that, right? This awareness is just coming back to us now. So there's a lot of work. I don't nearly have all of my soul pieces back yet. But the beautiful thing is that some of those core of soul pieces are really core to the story that we're living right now. So when we can find those, usually, it comes up in the core themes of our lives, right? Maybe we always have really dramatic romantic relationships. Maybe we have a chronic illness. Maybe we're still haunted by the loss we've experienced in our childhood. There's always a central theme, right? And when we seek those soul pieces that are connected to that, the others kind of, they come in due course, because we have created a magnetic field by getting those core soul pieces back. And now the others are kind of like drawn in, and the process of healing becomes easier after that. Sit, connect, and create. Yes, that sounds about right. Yes, spending time in silence. I do that every day. Just before starting this life, I was sitting in silence. This is just so important that we know how to be with ourselves and connect deeply. Yes, shamanic journeying, if you don't know how to do it yet, I highly recommend it to everyone. Every human being in the world should know how to access higher consciousness at will. It's very, very important. Because, the biggest dimension of who we are is the soul and spirit dimension. If we don't know how to connect to that reliably, then we will always, there will always be something missing from our lives, for sure. So let me know if you have questions about the stage of the apprentice before we move on to stage 3, the healer. Okay. me just check if I've missed anything here. Frena. I'm at the teacher level. Okay, we're going to talk about the teacher later, so you can write back in there. Stage 3, the healer. The healer is fully trained and actively engaged in helping others on their healing journey. So who here is a healer already? Let me know in the comments, and let me know if you'd like me to pull a card for you. My general advice for the healer is firstly to focus on your own spiritual practice, so that you really daily, so that you are a clear channel for others. It's so important that we don't bring our own dramas, stories, opinions into healings with others. That's not what a healer does, right? And also really to prioritize your self-care so that you're able to serve from a full cup, okay? It's so easy to get depleted as a healer. I know way too many burned out healers. I was the same in 2021. I spent the whole day in the bed and at the spa and at the pool, like just resting. So that's why I place so much importance on self-care for healers in my training. It really is the foundation you need to be able to work with others without depleting yourself. And self-care for healers is not general self-care, right, that you need as a human being, like, you know, to take a nice bath once a week, get a massage once a month. This is general self-care. Everyone needs that, right? But self-care for healers is different. It has a lot to do on the one side with energetic cleansing, and on the other side with drawing in the energies of Mother Earth and Father Sky, and to let your power animals and spirit guides work through you as you do your work instead of using your own energy. I cover all of that in Shamanic Stars, and also give you beautiful recorded practices to use. Now, the second piece of advice for the healer is to keep learning and channeling, and over time to develop your own approach to healing, manifesting your unique purpose and energy as a healer into something highly tangible. You know, every one of us is different. Everyone has a different soul purpose, and that must manifest in the way that we work as healers. So if you've learned a certain modality, if you've done a certain training, you over time will put your own spin on it. The more you do that work, you will infuse it with your own energy. It will become something slightly different than what you've learned. This is already the way that I teach from the start. I don't teach you how to do what I do. I teach you how to do what you're meant to do, which is ideally how every apprenticeship should work, but unfortunately, usually it doesn't. And a third piece of advice is to keep investing in your business. As your business grows, your mission grows, and that's how you have a continuously growing impact for good in the world. And that's, of course, ideally what we want, to help the most people that we can. I always invest big sums of money back into my business. Everyone's like, why don't you buy a car? Why don't you buy a house? I really don't like having a lot of material things. I really am probably too ungrounded for that. I'm all up there in the spirit world, and I just invest my money in experiences and in growing my business and growing my mission so that I can help more and more people. And that's just so beautiful. It's just how I love to live. And you know, when you grow as a person, when you put that in, you know, when you make it a priority to do your own spiritual practice, to grow as a person, to evolve, well, your business needs to grow with that, right? And every time your business needs to grow, you're gonna need to learn a specific skill that will cost you money, or you're gonna need to hire people for a specific service that costs you money. So it's really important to always keep investing, and you'll see that so much more money is gonna come back to you from that. So you're really growing continuously into a new vibration, into a higher vibration, and you take your clients with you by investing in your business. Good, let's do a card pull for stage 3 for the healer. And let me know also if you'd like a personal card and if you have any questions. Okay. General card for stage 3 for the healer stage. What advice does Spirit have for us? Oops. Ooh, that is so beautiful. I love it so much. Medicine mask. Authenticity. Wow, what a powerful card. I'm going to read what the book has to say about this one. The curtain of illusion has fallen to reveal the true self of yourself and others. Don't hide anymore. Face up to who you really are and embrace the fact that you are one of a kind. The world has waited long enough for you to grace it with your individuality. It is time to stop cowering behind conformity or expectation. You have worn those masks for far too long. Your desire to fit in with the world around you has stifled the deep call of your soul. Show your authentic self without fear. Some shamans use masks to help them identify with and activate the medicine of spirits, such as totem animals. Wearing these types of masks allows the shaman to summon up the qualities of the spirit the mask is attributed to. You can use this technique to embrace any aspects of yourself that you have hidden or denied. Make your own medicine mask with the attributes you'd like to connect with. Wear your medicine mask to feel stronger, wiser, and more powerful as you draw upon the medicine infused into it. Medicine mask speaks. Throw back the mask, take a stance, no need to hide, for now's your chance. Live your life, be who you are, stand proudly, and you shall go far. This is so beautiful. It ties in perfectly with what I was talking about. And there's only one of you, and that you really need to bring forth your authentic self as a healer in your work. So, so beautiful. And I also work with masks in one of my offerings, also in the Dark Goddess initiation, where we literally become the Dark Goddess, which is something so important and so powerful for women to embrace their dark selves, the origin of everything. Good. Okay, let me know if you'd like a personal card. Before we move on to the fourth stage, what can the fourth stage be? Kind of revealed it already in the description. It's like the four evolutionary stages of the healer, but there is a fourth stage, which is the teacher. You're still a healer when you're a teacher, but you have evolved further than the healer. Okay, now the teacher has perfected her craft and ideally has also developed her own approach, or at least her own spin on things, representing her own unique energy, and is now teaching that to her tribe. Like me, when I teach shamanic journeying and shamanic healing through shamanic yoga, which is an approach that I've developed myself to be able to teach shamanism safely online, because the way I learned it was in an in-person apprenticeship in a one-on-one setting, and I really noticed that many people in that group were not learning at all as powerfully as I was, because the in-person apprenticeships, although mine was a year long, you can't of course have like every day a year-long training, but that's ideally what you need. People come together in person trainings for a short amount of time, and that's often just not enough to integrate something on that deeper level. Well, when I teach online, you're going to do work for every day for 7 months, and that makes this learning so much more powerful and so much more intense and so much faster. So I have really taken something that is rather inaccessible to most, and I've made it much more accessible, much more easy and fast to learn. So the most important priority for the teacher is his continued commitment to the highest service, to the highest standards, since her teachings will have a far-reaching impact. So for example, Shamanic Stars, my core offering, my soul offering, I have perfected it over so many years. Like every time one of my clients needed something that was not in the training, I've added it. Every time I realized that something is too much in the training and just taking away from the core focus, I've either taken it out or I've labeled it as an extra resource just to be used in case. So the core teachings are very clear and step by step. So you will really have a smooth, energetic journey within the training and really ascend into your next stage, your next level really smoothly, which is very important. So you must always be committed to that. Just yesterday, I recorded a new training on how to best, record your own meditations, because many of my clients are doing that. So I always continuously make it better, and sometimes I record trainings anew because I have evolved and I have a higher awareness of things now, etc. So that's really, really important that once you have that success, usually when you're a teacher, you're successful, right? You've had success as a healer, now you're teaching, and some people like to sit back at that stage, you know, and be like, yeah, okay, whatever, I'm gonna rest now. That's especially when you have not gone through the healer phase successfully, when you have not taken care of yourself in the way that you should have when you're depleted. Then it can be really easy to get very comfortable when you're a teacher. But of course we shouldn't, you know, because when you're a teacher, you know, your teachings have an even bigger impact than your healings do, because you're influencing all of these people who go out there and then help so many more people. There's a very wide-reaching impact. Even if you just have a small audience, I have like 3,000 women in here, I have another 3,000 on my email list, and I have another like 7,000 on my Facebook page or something like that. It's rather small. But if you look at all the people that I've trained over the years and all the people that they're helping, that's a huge impact. I sometimes get messages from people I've never heard of, and they thank me for the healings that they have received from, you know, from women that I've trained, you know, which is just like wild. And that makes you realize that your impact is a lot bigger than you realize. And also a really important advice for the teacher is to stay approachable and real. You know, what we just talked about with authenticity. I mean, how many aloof, arrogant teachers with a huge ego do you know? Especially in shamanism, there's so many male teachers that are really like, where I'm like, wow, you know, your ego is very, very big. I know way too many. And it's really interesting how when people reach kind of an enlightened state of being, sometimes, you know, once they've had this recognition, this success in that field, they fall back into the dark depths of ego once more. And it's really a trap to look out for. Always stay humble and grateful and take nothing for granted. And another key for the teacher is to keep practicing healing. Even if you mainly teach, you need to stay energetically connected to what you are teaching others to do. I was doing so much healing, so much teaching the past 2 years, and so few healings that this year I'm putting a bigger focus on healing sessions again. I've kind of turned people away from personal healings for the last 2 years because I was so busy with teaching. And this year I've made a commitment to do more healings again myself, because it's just really, really important to stay energetically connected to what you're teaching. Yeah, and another thing to keep in mind when you're a teacher is you mustn't forget that you're human too, that you need support sometimes, right? For those of us who don't fall prey to ego, we tend to give too much to others. This is the other side of the trap, and not enough to ourselves. So watch out for that golden balance to strike, and make sure that you're not always in the role of the supporter, but you also let yourself be in the role of the supported. That is my trap that I always need to make sure I don't fall into. So if you're at the stage of the teacher and you know you need someone to support you just as you support many others, reach out to me in a private message. I know this stage very well since I'm in it myself. And just like I need others to hold space for me, I'd be delighted to hold space for you. Let's pull a card for the stage. And if you are at the stage of the teacher right now, let me know if you'd like me to pull a personal card for you. I know Freyna does. But let's draw a general card. Let's get some advice from Spirit for the stage of the teacher. No card is calling out to me right now. I need to focus better. Ooh, beautiful. Wow. Offerings. Wealth. I love that. So beautiful. Let's see what the card says. Here in Bali, everywhere there's offerings. They make little baskets from banana leaves, and they fill them with fruit, with crackers, with flowers, with incense, offerings for the gods. So the card says, it is time to give back. Perfect for the stage of the teacher. Make a list of everything you are grateful for, and you will soon notice how rich you really are. To receive, one must give. Everything is interconnected, so when you give, abundance will flow back to you in some form. Spirit provides for your needs, so make offerings and thanksgiving for all you have and all you are a regular practice. This can be done daily, anywhere, and at any time to great effect. Offerings can be made in many forms, such as fruit, nuts, and candles. Whatever you give is greater when infused with gratitude. Give something that is of importance or value to you, for then you are really giving. You can also make an offering through prayer, song, or by saying a simple thank you. Be humble and grateful, hold the offering to your heart, and allow it to become a blessing. This practice will enhance your connection with Spirit and invite abundance to come your way. Offering speaks. Give thanks and offer up your love. Ensure abundance from above. With humble heart you must believe. Hold your hands out to receive. Ah, I love that. So beautiful. Yeah, that altar is beautiful, huh? It's very rich. I love it. Okay. Now, Frena, personal card for you. Can you post your question again also, Frena, please, because I can't scroll up all that way. That would be great. Okay, card for Frena. Oh, beautiful. Ancestors. Wisdom. I love that card. The ancestors are our spiritual kin. They are the ones who walked before us and in some way helped shape the lives we lead today. You are being asked to honor the ancestors, to keep their memory and spirits alive, and to give thanks to them. Many indigenous people and cultures around the world do this. In following this tradition, you are partaking in a timeless connection through which the ancestors can impart their wisdom and assist you in your spiritual journey. Put flowers on a beloved one's grave or give thanks to the ancestors whose qualities you've acquired. You may wish to dedicate a small altar with pictures of past loved ones in honoring of their memory and light candles in remembrance of them. Honoring those who have walked before you and understanding their ways will help you to release hurts and pains. Healing ancestral lines can enable you to break free of destructive patterns and step into the freedom your soul yearns for, to be whole, wise, and complete. Call upon the wisdom of the ancestors and honor yourself for never giving up as you walk wisely in their footsteps. Ancestors speak. Once made like you of blood and bone, from earth, but now to spirit flown, honor who we truly are, wisdom claimed to take you far. Beautiful, I love that. I have an ancestral healing inside of my training as well, because it's really, really important to heal all of those invisible connections. Okay, Christina would love a card. That's the second Christina. Christina Caldwell, I've already pulled 2 cards for you, and I think that goes for whatever stage you were in, right? This was your personal advice. And let's pull a card for Christina Laxonen. Are you Swedish, my dear? Okay. Ooh. Ooh. The card that is coming up for you is Middle World. Present. Oops. Such a beautiful card, one of my favorite ones. Middle World wants you to remember where you have come from as well as where you reside. The responsibilities that Middle World brings can be a struggle, and you sometimes find it hard to cope or have feelings of not belonging. Have you felt as if you are a stranger upon this planet or wished you could go home? Middle World understands and respects your desire to journey to other dimensions. Are you longing to enhance your connection with spirit, or are you seeking escape? To balance and harmonize with the web of life, it is important to acknowledge your residency in the physical world. Middle World is full of trials, tribulations, blessings, and achievements. You are here to learn and to flower. Journey to the lower and upper worlds of the Tree of Life to access wisdom and healing abilities and bring them back here to your home in Middle World. When you journey in Middle World, you are in present time, traveling through the physical landscape. Restore balance and embrace all that is seen and unseen. Middle world speaks. The place that you reside is here, upon this earth realm, have no fear. Live firm betwixt and in between. Connect with all, seen and unseen. Love this card. So this is exactly what we do in a shamanic journey. In a shamanic journey, we travel upwards into the upper realms and downwards into the lower realms to get guidance and healing, and then we bring that into the middle world, which is where we are here right now, incarnated as a soul in a body, and we start to embody that. That's why shamanic journeying is so important, that we can live in all of our dimensions, which is what a fulfilled life is really all about. Thank you, Christina, for posting Frenia's question. I'm at the teacher level and I still deal with the imposter syndrome and persecution, which disturbs me from shining my light and sharing my gifts with people and let myself be paid for. I've learned shamanic healing. Do you have practical advice for this? And I would also like a card. Yes, I've drawn a card for you. So, Frena, it really sounds like you need some shamanic healing yourself. Like often when we are healers and teachers, we so forget to take care of ourselves, but there's always more that we need to heal within ourselves. And maybe in this phase where you were an apprentice or a seeker, you skipped part of the important healing that needs to happen there, which is okay. You can still do it when you are at the stage where you are already at. So I highly recommend you do some shamanic healing, you do some soul healing for yourself. And usually this is kind of hard to do for yourself, right? Because when we deeply need to release and receive, we need someone to hold space for us. And doing the space holding ourselves can kind of get in the way of us being as relaxed as we need to be in that state so that we can fully release and receive. So get help from someone, get a beautiful shamanic healing session that really deals with that imposter syndrome. I've literally just held this month an imposter syndrome healing session for my clients. So this is part of what I do because this is a very, very important topic, and it usually goes back to soul loss from past lives as well as inner child healing that needs to happen on a soul level. That's why I do shamanic inner child healing as well. Christina loves her card. Beautiful. Finland. Almost. Okay. Beautiful. And offerings and ancestors are exactly what is present at this time. Great. Love that the cards resonate with you. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions before we are ending this beautiful session together. And I can't wait to speak with some of you one-on-one about shamanic stars. You can go to shamanicyoga.love/claritycall to explore the training in more detail. And then if you feel called, book a chat with me so we can chat next week. And I wanted to say for everyone, this is the absolute last chance next month, April. If you join us to get a free VIP retreat with me here in Bali, this is a really cool bonus that I'm giving to everyone who joins. You can come to Bali, you can spend a weekend with me. I'm paying for everything. Hotel, food, we're gonna do healing sessions together, teachings. If you're already at the business stage, we can do shamanic business coaching together, whatever it is that you need. It's a really, really powerful time together. Within 2 days, so much can shift. So I love these days. And of course, if you can't come to Bali last minute like that, we can do the whole thing online, or you can come join me in Thailand, where I'm gonna be from May onwards. The beautiful northern regions of Thailand in the mountains with waterfalls and hot springs. It's just absolutely divine there. I'm going to fly there in 5 weeks. So yeah, exciting times ahead. And thank you so much for being here with me, sharing this beautiful session, this beautiful energy. Lots of love to you all. And I wish you a happy Easter, a happy Ostara. For those of you who are already my apprentices, I highly recommend that you do our beautiful Ostara ritual that you will find in the Celtic Wheel of the Year celebration section of the Shamanic Stars content. And Paola, one of my apprentices, has just come already in the apprenticeship. Love a card around what would be good to work on during the eclipse. Yes, of course. Okay, let's stay here for a few more minutes. Paola, I'll draw a card for you. Okay, Paola. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is your card. The staff. Foundations. Let's see what the book says. Staff lends itself for you to lean on whilst you take stock of where you are on your journey. This is a vital requirement for you right now, as you seem to be walking on rather shaky ground and don't feel supported. Your journey has taken many twists and turns, and although you have tried to remain focused, your desired destination still feels out of reach. Choose staff as your companion, for it will accompany you back to your roots. This is an opportunity for you to look at where you have been and where you would like to be heading. Most importantly, you are being guided to go back to basics and remember where you have come from. Have you stayed on your path or have you strayed? Looking back and acknowledging that where and how you started will bring a fresh new outlook and the strength you need to take this journey to completion. It may be time to start all over again. If so, rock bottom will give you the perfect foundations to build upon. Staff speaks. Lean on me, focus and wait. Determine what to dissipate. Strip beliefs back to the core. Strong foundations help you soar. So I think for you, this is really saying you are in the apprenticeship state, right? Maybe you need to go back to basics during the eclipse season. You know, eclipses are really, really intense times, and they can, like the book says, kind of strip us of the foundations that we've built. So we need to really reinforce them. Okay. So what are the foundations? What have you learned so far in the apprenticeship? You know, it's all about deepening your self-love, opening and healing your heart, right? It's all about learning how to connect powerfully to Mother Earth and Father Sky, learning how to ground yourself, right? Doing the inner child healing, the shadow integrations, working with the feminine archetypes to really embody the woman and healer that you want to be. So go over those foundations again and find out which of these foundations is not strong enough yet, and focus on that during the eclipse season, because you are about to dive in deep with part 2 of the apprenticeship, where it's really about learning shamanic healing. So definitely go over those foundations again and see what needs to be strengthened, and I'm really happy to support you in that in our next one-on-one healing session together, or in our next group mentorship session. Okay, lots of love to all of you, and bye for now. Namaste, my beauties.